This is Business Therapy, healing businesses from the inside out through communication and emotional intelligence. I'm Diane Hansen, management consultant, and with me is Christine Salvo, therapist, certified mediator, and certified hypnotist.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. And today we are just pleased to have Christina Luna in our studio, and she is quite the light of the moon. Christina Luna is living her dream by decentralizing her location from her business, taking her business 100% online. And beyond that, we dream of this, but being incredibly successful. Christina, welcome. And how much have you made this month?
Thank you. Great way to start the show.
Start right out the beginning.
Oh yeah, I mean that is the hot point of interest here.
I have not proclaimed this from the rooftops yet, but it is true, and this is the first month of like really tracking it. I had my first 10K month.
That
100% from meeting clients online.
That is absolutely wonderful, and I think there's probably many listeners out there who have dreamed of capitalizing on the online space and bringing their business online and monetizing their business online. When you first started about thinking about moving your business over, what was your offline business?
My offline business, I was actually a massage therapist. I was massaging for a fixed amount of money per hour. And I had clients that I saw, and I had a window of time that I worked, and I made exactly what I needed each month to get by, and not a lot more, not a lot less. It was very stable.
Yeah, stable.
So what was the process? I mean, a lot of people like massage therapists, how do you take that online? How did you move?
I know so massage is a very physical way of serving people. And what's beautiful is I had a moment where I was invited to trust the vision of my heart. And I literally remember I was sitting outside and I was and I was wanting to move to Arizona. I wanted to spend my winters in Arizona because I'm a desert person and I live in a very cold climate in the winter. And the person invited me to, well, what if you just leaned into what that would look like? What if you really allowed yourself to just want what you want and let things unfold? And I just did. I had never let myself actually dream the dream that I would actually be able to live where I wanted to live when I wanted to live there until that moment. And I tell you, from the minute that I dreamed the dream, synchronicities started to stack up. And I started to recognize that there were patterns I was seeing in my massage clients. Not only that, but I had been doing all types of personal development on the side besides massage. I'd been studying with a shaman, and I'd been, studying energy medicine and energy practice. And I had been seeing so many clients. I was seeing that there were these patterns that were repeating in these clients. And I was saying the same things to many of my clients. In fact, I'd even narrowed my private practice down to work with specifically women with C-section scars, because I was noticing that those women were not utilizing their muscles properly. So the first start of this was to write an ebook. Like, if I was going to write an ebook to reach all of the women who had C-section scars or any kind of abdominal scarring, what would I put in the ebook so that they could actually do some kind of step-by-step process? And that was my first thing. I created an ebook that anyone could download anywhere, because not everyone was able to make it to my office to receive the type of therapy that I was providing. And I believed that women could do this on their own. And I tested it. I actually put myself out there, and I went into different women's groups, and I asked, listen, can I facilitate something with only my words and see if it will actually work? If these women's stomach muscles and core muscles would be turned on just by me directing them with my voice. And so I went into groups and I did this. I had 20 women, 15 women, 18 women laying on the ground, massaging their own bellies. And sure enough, they regained so much motor control and control in their core. So I knew that, okay, my impact can reach far greater than just the people I'm able to touch with my fingers. And that was the beginning.
Wow. That's quite a beginning.
Yeah.
It's like you got a tiny bit of a seed and then you're just like, water, miracle grow, like rah.
Yeah.
So I have some questions here because this process isn't typically always linear, right? It's not like,
Right.
wow, I had this inspiration and I went and did it. So my guess is that you had some when you were guided by that person that you said to lean into that. What were maybe some of the things that stopped you from leaning into that before? What were some ideas or beliefs or what was behind that?
I totally believed that, well, I was like, well, first of all, the Nevada license won't transfer to Arizona. So I was like really stuck in this, like, the only way I can make money is time for money, is I deliver an hour of this thing that I have a certificate in, and they will give me X amount of money, and I can increase my prices, but I have to have this license to be able to do the work that I'm doing. And Arizona doesn't honor my license, so like I won't be able to move. So basically I wouldn't dream. I
Okay.
wouldn't dream the dream because I believed that the limitations of my scope of practice wouldn't transfer.
Okay. So logistics. So that was
Logistics.
one.
Mm-hmm.
Was there anything else?
Well, I guess I had some, it's been such a long time now. I had some ceilings around some people just don't get to. Like, I had a ceiling,
Ooh.
like some people just don't get to.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, if some people do get to, what makes me different from those people? What do I believe that's making me different from the people that get to and the people that don't get to? And so I checked out a lot of my inner beliefs around that, and really letting myself actually dream what I wanted started to break those apart. Because what was in the way? Why couldn't I just let myself want what I wanted? That was the question I kept asking. What is there that's not letting me just want what I want?
Yeah. I'm so glad that you said it in the way you said it because I think our listeners, this is not unique. Why me? Why should I get to?
Yeah.
That's for other people or, a lot of these barriers that we have in social media, the kind of highlight reel of people's lives. And sometimes that leaves people feeling in the negative, right? Like, oh, well, they get to do it. That's just not for me. Or maybe someday, or they don't live my life, or they haven't the list, right?
Or I have too many barriers. I can't afford it. I have
Right.
children.
I had a young child. My child she was only 2 when I decided to do this. And, I was, and in fact, I was a single mother because my partner, we were kind of back and forth. He was moving out, moving in, he was getting his degree, so I didn't feel like I had a person that I could rely on to give me that stability. I believed I was the sole person to create that stability, and I needed to do the safe thing to provide for my daughter and just do the thing that's been proven. And that was my story. Like, who am I to take those types of risks?
Ooh, another great internal question. So if you're listening right now, have you said these things to yourself? Who am I to take these risks?
Yeah.
Right? How am I different from the people that are achieving this success, the people that are doing it, and the people that aren't? And what limitations inside me, what kind of doubt, what kind of external issues are coming up? Is single parenthood a time, just stop dreaming? Or is it that money for service, stop dreaming? And I think everybody, for the most part, at some point has this pivot or this time in their journey where they do stop dreaming.
Yeah.
But
I had stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's so sad, right?
know,
Like
yeah.
you could cry for yourself right now of like, I stopped dreaming,
I
but
did.
the world can do that. We can start to kind of feel
Right.
the walls and it gets really tall and like these huge mountains around us of just like, just be grateful and do the thing.
Be great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Could be worse.
And
could be
it's
worse.
also a construct of who you surround yourself with. So you started surrounding yourself with different types of people as well.
That is exactly. I was opened up to, the personal development world. And these people were dreaming. These people were taking time out to imagine, to let themselves desire something. And that was novel for me.
So you
Exactly.
hadn't had experience in that before?
No, I was very fresh to this world. And it was my second seminar, actually, that I went to, this personal development seminar. And lo and behold, here was someone asking me, what if you did let yourself want what you wanted? What would happen? And then I asked, and it was not linear. Like what you said, definitely. I set out to like write this ebook about scar tissue, and that's not the way I'm making money right now. But it was my first inspired step.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Right.
first inspired step was all that I had to do, because that led to the next inspired step. And I was inspired. I started building the muscle of trusting the next inspired step. And it led me, to be honest, the reason why I had such a big month this month was because I had an inspiration to build a website for a friend who was starting a little business growing microgreens. And I just was like, oh my gosh, if I could make them a website, they would be so successful. Like it was a seed. And I didn't even want them to pay me. I just wanted their business to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
And I built a few websites for myself. And so I knew how to use it enough to like help this person. And they were super excited. I created this whole interview so I could like interview them about their dreams. I asked them to dream. I asked them to imagine like what would happen if your business was ultra successful? What would that look like for you? And so I began asking other people to dream. And it started, I was super motivated and inspired to begin helping people with their dreams and asking them the right questions like that person asked me.
Mm-hmm.
Asking those people because maybe they stopped dreaming, or maybe they're at the beginning of a dream that they are afraid to dream bigger. And so I just started inviting, like, what would happen if you dreamed even bigger and you saw yourself wildly successful doing this? What would it look like? Who would your client be? How would we interface with them? How would they pay you? What would that interface look like? And so I followed the trail and it was a muscle that I built of following the next inspired step.
I think that's a really important thing for anybody who's in any realm of business, is the ability to let go of the original plan
Oh, yeah.
in order to have a greater plan, in order to allow for expansion and growth organically versus this, no, this is the way it's supposed to be. I had this idea. I'm supposed to, I mean, if you would have framed it like that, if this is what I'm supposed to do, I'm supposed to do massage. Now, if I'm going to move massage to online, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do these ebooks and I'm going to sell these ebooks. It would have cluttered your brain so much that you wouldn't have had the space for that.
Yeah.
I could do a website for a friend.
Yeah.
Just drop in and being so terrified to deviate from the strategic plan. The very aspect of strategic planning is that it is strategic. It has a guidance and a direction, but the tactic is not the direction. And a lot of people get stuck in that, oh, well, this is exactly what I need to do, and I'm going to focus on this. No, your actually overall strategy was to decentralize yourself from your business.
Yes,
To be
that
able
was-
to do it anywhere.
Right. The bigger goal was to be able to serve more people who are not maybe in my proximity.
Right.
The initial seed was, how can I serve more women with this scar tissue wisdom that can't get near me for like, so I already had the seed of how can I serve more that doesn't require me to be present with them. And the internet exists. Like I knew that there was a way to reach more people, and always in this heart of service. Like it was never I ended up giving. I give the ebook away for free. It wasn't that I set out to make a whole bunch of money. I set out to help a whole bunch of women. There were millions of women getting C-section. I wanted to reach as many of them as I could, and so that heart of service kept opening more doors. And having the heart of service for my friend's website opened a door. And having a heart of service for the people who were struggling energetically, I was like, wow, I'm sharing these tools one person at a time. What would happen if I actually got people together in a group and served them all together in maybe a Zoom conference room and they could learn from each other. Like that heart of service kept opening these doors, and they were small doors, and it didn't look like a ton of money right at first, because that wasn't my primary objective. My primary objective was, well, I know that I can serve people online. I know that if I serve more people online and I allow people who want to be served as an incubator, then I'll learn how to do this. And I know that that can be expanded.
So from massage to ebook to going into these women's groups and having them, manually stimulate these muscles, what happened next?
What happened next? I was seeing that there was a deeper, it goes a little esoteric from there. I was noticing that there was kind of a deeper root emotional and energetic reason for why some women would feel disconnected from their bodies or disconnected from their somatic truth, and that a little bit of scar therapy wasn't getting to the root. That energetically and emotionally and mentally and subconsciously, there was more to be done. And I did have a body of work that I learned that I realized, wow, if I could offer this, then those women who are, or men even, have now been in part of that. But those people can actually get to the subconscious and energetic roots. And this doesn't have to be in person. I know I can create online communities where we meet every week and we go through this and we talk, and maybe the scar tissue is part of it, but it's one piece, because the person as a whole is manifesting this disconnect. And so I studied, like, how could I serve people with online classes. And so I went into researching that, and I was like, wow, there's a lot of work there. There's a lot of programs and a lot of structures. And as soon as I got involved with the structure, it started to, feel scary to me.
Okay.
I started feeling like, wow, all these people are doing it so professionally. And I got back to my heart of service of like, you know what? If I really want to serve these people, I need to let the intimidating structure go.
Yes.
And I just need to show up.
Yes.
And that was the next hurdle for me.
Yes, I love that. I love that. Right when you're getting here and you're like, oh, I'm going to do this thing, it's like fear, doubt, whatever comes next.
It was
It's
daunting.
the comparison syndrome as well.
For sure.
Looking out and going, oh, well, there's so many people doing this so much better than me. And then the why me?
Well, the why me was I had people asking me to teach them. I had people that I knew I could serve them if I just said yes, and I stopped putting the structure in between me and helping them.
Awesome.
So here's
It's
the
a big
big
deal.
question. Heart of service brings people, attracts customers who want what you have to offer. How do you ask for the cash?
This is a amazing, okay, I wish we had tons of time to talk about this, but I'll shorten it. In the beginning, I didn't really know how to price this out. So I actually brought people through a process where I asked them, listen, I have a heart of service, and I was maintaining my massage practice at this time, but I was testing this. So I said, I got them completely aligned with their mental, their spiritual, their emotional, and their physical bodies. And I said, now you tell me, what is the price that will help you to feel you have skin in the game? What is the price that you can invest in this where you will not quit? And I had people tell me prices from $2,500 to $900 to $50. I had people all across. The average was somewhere around $700, where they came up with this price and they claimed it. They created a payment plan, or they paid up front, and I knew that whatever price they said, I was 100% committed to them. And so that's how I started. And over the course of doing this, I did that pricing structure for about 10 months. And I realized that the people who paid $50 didn't even get through the first module. And the people who paid $2,500 may have gotten through it, but for some people, money is not the thing that keeps their skin in the game.
Right.
And so I was like, all right, there's a space in between this. And I actually even got involved with this. Or what if I just asked for high ticket? What if I asked for $5,000 for this? Because it's the outcome they're receiving that's priceless. So I opened up a whole class where I said, all right, now I'm attracting people who will pay $5,000 for this. And sure enough, they paid $5,000, and I offered it to returning students at half price. And they had $2,500 was still far more than they had paid originally. So I was very intuitively guided by this. I tried the high ticket, I tried low ticket, and now I'm at a place where I'm right in the middle. I've created a pricing structure where I charge $1,000, and people can either pay in full or they can pay monthly. And so I've learned, like, some people can afford to do this monthly, and I want to make it accessible to anyone who is called to this work, and that money shouldn't be the barrier.
And everything that you do is booked 100% online. It's delivered online. You can be anywhere, do anything.
Yes, I have a student in Norway. I have a student in Washington. I had a person in Wales. It's completely international. And what's beautiful is, from this work that I did, I actually discovered that the next step was that people really want to step into professionally serving. And so that website that I made for a friend a long time ago, and the interviewing I did for them, I actually brought that to those people who wanted to begin a new website. So now I'm doing these interviews and websites for people who want to serve powerfully. For some of my previous students, and then for new people that are like, they are just ready to serve and they don't really exactly know how to structure that. And I help them create online classes. And, I guess there's a big trend now where people are moving toward this online platform, primarily because they want to serve more deeply and greatly and broader than they would be capable of doing in person in their own communities.
And finally, for our listeners who say, that all sounds really great, but I don't know more than 10 people. How do you find audience for an online service?
I've been very lucky. I provide service when I'm with someone. I'm 100% with them, and I deliver value whether or not they've paid me or not. And so my word of mouth has been powerful. And sometimes all it is a Facebook Live about how much perception shift they've had. And that Facebook Live touches their network, and their network reaches out. Like, I've done zero marketing. I've spent $0 on marketing.
Wow, that's incredible.
Zero.
So that's really important for our listeners to know, because a lot of programs that you'll see online will be like, make lots of money online. Here's how to spend money on Facebook ads. Here's what to do on LinkedIn. Here's what to do here. It was none of it.
I did none of it. I completely trusted that if I'm in the heart of service and I'm completely open for business, as far as my energetic beacon has the open sign open, and I know very clearly who it is I'm serving at what stage of their delivery that they're at, and I know exactly how I can serve them. And I have 100% confidence that if they show up in my world, I have everything I need to serve them with.
I love that. Thank you so much for being on Business Therapy. I am sure you inspired so many people this morning. Thank you for listening. I'm Diane Hansen, management consultant.
Christine Salvo, therapist, mediator, and hypnotherapist. Have an excellent day today. Thanks for listening.
Have a great day.
Thank you.